Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Hope you're staying dry and everybody getting ready for a good day of riding around in the rain. Well, weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and the hard-working crew up there. Our weather should be just spotty today, but it's going to be rain. I could tell you 2 weeks ago we're going to have rain today because 2 weeks ago, Jerry Forehand and I talked about going fishing today. So that's just guaranteed rain coming. So I knew 2 weeks ago it was going to rain today. So anyway, high today, 77, low 63. Water temperature at the end of the pier is still 71 degrees. Take a look at our river readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. The Apalachicola, you don't want to get out on it right now because it's at 13.2 and going up. And check out the Choctawhatchee at Caryville. It's way up there. It's way up there around 9 feet now. It's going straight up. Both rivers are going up, and it's going to be a high water for the weekend. So when you get out and do, you may not want to do it back on unless you get back in those sloughs, and it's going to be that way, probably all through Saturday and Sunday. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good strong tides today. We're looking at a high tide at 12:53 p.m. and a low tide at 12:48 a.m. after midnight. So really good incoming tide, and then a strong outgoing tide. It looks good today. And our wind, again, double digits, south-southwest at about 15 to 20. It's going to be that March wind is just extended on into April, so it'll get better soon. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back and welcome to our guest this morning. A familiar face, been with us before, our rod building expert, Steve Rogers, Sandhill Sticks. Welcome back to the show, buddy.
How you doing this morning?
Great to have you back. We're running into each other. In fact, we saw each other at a tournament the other morning, and so you got to get back on the show. And so here he is. He's back. So rod building has been awesome. I know you stay busy. You're supposed to be retired now.
Supposed to be. Going back to work a little bit temporary, and between that and the rods,
so
keeps me busy.
We're going to talk about rod building. We're going to talk about camping. They do a lot of camping and just a lot of all kind of stuff. We're going to run out of time basically, but let's start again with our rod building.
Yes.
Tell us basically about it.
Well, when the customer orders one, we go through what they want, any colors, size, action, length, all that good stuff, and then I place my order, and this is the way it comes in.
You get a blank.
Just a blank. Now I don't build the rod blank. I buy them pre-made, but then all the components that go with it, the grips and the handle. This is part of the handle here, and then all your guides, everything else.
And
I sew it on and glue it on and make a mess and clean up and make another mess. And
well, I've been up to your place and all. You got a pretty clean shop, but you sort of have stuff scattered out.
It's a chaotic organization.
That's a good way to put it.
Chaotic organization.
The biggest thing is just lightweight. Everybody wants something like featherweight and everything.
That's right. And these, for the most part, they are. They, like I said before when I was on, they've come a long way in the technology of rods. And like I said on this one, I've already got this one marked. That's one of the first things you have to do is a rod blank has a spine in it, just like you do. And you have to find that spine. And I don't know if the camera can see it, this white mark right here.
Okay.
Is that's where the spine is.
How do you find the spine?
Just like this. And I'll roll it around, and it'll have you can feel a little hard ridge in it. And once you find that, then depending on whether it's a spinning rod or a casting rod, that's where you make your mark.
That's interesting.
And you line your guides up then with that mark.
Yep, that's interesting. Well, I see the guides and all over the years. I go back to the early years how they made them, and then there's been an evolution in the guides.
Oh yeah,
also. This
is some of the newest they've come out with called a microwave. I don't know why they call it that. It doesn't cook anything, but it's supposed to be a super nice guide. I've installed several of those on other rods, and the guys seem to like them. It tends to take a lot of the, especially on a spinning rod, it takes a lot of the, when the line comes off the reel, it takes a lot of that out once it gets to that first guide. It just calms it down and lets it cast a little easier and a little further.
What about when your people, the big thing about it, to customize it, they get to pick out their own colors and all.
Yes, sir,
That's
pretty much.
cool.
Most of the part is, sometimes I can't get the color they would like on a blank, but for the most part I can. And
But the wrapping itself, you get all kind of colors.
Oh, good, yes.
That's
your
what's
favorite
cool.
school colors, your favorite childhood color, or whatever, you know, or if you want something just weird and wild, I can do that too.
And you can sort of write something at the name of it and all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can put your name on it. I think I put one on yours.
I'll bring that tomorrow. It's awesome. Think about when I get something nice like that, I don't want to use it. I just want to really look at it.
Well, I built it for you to use it.
I know it. That's why Mike Edwards gave me these fishing lures, and I put them up, and he wanted to know if I caught a fish with them. I said, no, they're almost tackle board.
Yeah, no, use it. That's what it's made for. That's what it's made for.
I know. What's your biggest challenge when you're putting a rod system together? The biggest challenge?
Sewing the guides on.
Yeah.
Big fingers, little guides, little bitty thread. It's tough sometimes.
Is it?
And in my shop, like I said, you've been in my shop. I have bright lights like this to light it up so I can see it. And after a couple of hours, everything starts looking the same, and you start getting tunnel vision, and you just have to kind of get up and walk away from it.
That's a good point right there. Good point. Most of them freshwater, saltwater. What is it most of
It's a
called?
combination.
Yeah.
I'd say it's split about 50-50.
You do many fly rods?
I have not.
Okay, I just wondered.
Quick story, I was going to do one for myself, and it comes in 4 pieces. And when I went to spline it, I broke it.
I can see that.
That's about a $60 blank that's trash now. So
that's funny. We got to try again though. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I've already got me another one. I'm going to try it when I get caught up. I'm going to be a man another one. So.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. Be right back with Steve. Okay, here we are, Steve Rogers. Let's show his card up here. It's Sandhill Sticks, and this is his phone number. Handcrafted rods, crafted by Steve Rogers. That's 850-596-4435. That's a 5 over there that I almost cut off. 4435. Now, Steve, wrapping things up. You excuse the pun, but wrapping things up on rod wrapping. So, what do you have here?
Well, this is one that's in the works right now that I'm working on. It's almost complete. A couple of other things I need to do. One of the little tricks I do is, like on the black guides here, if I have to grind the foot of it down so the thread will right up on it smooth. And to cover the shiny part up, I'll use a black felt tip marker. And I didn't wait long enough on this one for it to dry, so that black is bleeding through on my thread, so I have to redo that.
Yeah, I see that.
But once I get that done, I'll put my finish on these and polish them up a little bit, and this will be ready to go.
All right.
I can't show this one too much because I'm sure they're watching this morning. So.
Yeah, think about it. We got all kind of. We got Father's Day coming up, Mother's Day, all kind of cool things you can get, and people like that. Okay, is that all about rod stuff?
That's all in my rod building. I've got this old one if you wanted to look at it. Or
yeah, show us that old one because this was funny. The Evolution rod. Tell us about this one real quick.
This one is my wife's grandfather's rod. It's an old Shakespeare and rod and reel. I have no idea how old it is, but you can see there's only 2 guides and a tip. That's a steel rod, and I think this is probably from the late 50s, maybe early 60s. But,
they started making them after World War II. They really hit the industry hard.
It's steel handle all the way down with plastic inserts. So, it's pretty neat, but
we've come a long way. We've come a long way. You're right. That's cool. What the coolest thing about it is that your wife saved it.
Right.
That was her great-grandfather's or
her grandfather's.
Her grandfather's, who probably great-grandfather probably bought it for him or something. So and we're talking about saving our legacy. I know your family. I got a picture here. Your family's been here a good while. So tell us about this picture right here.
Well, my family's all from Washington County, most of them, and several years ago, Washington County Board of Commissioners wanted to recognize some of their sportsmen that they had in the county that helped them bring deer in actually to the county and do a lot of fishing. My great-grandfather, Daniel Allen Rogers, went by the name of Buster.
Buster
was one of those, and they dedicated the landing to him. in his namesake on the Wages Pond up in the Sandhills.
Okay, so I know a lot of y'all fish there. Now you know that was his great-grandfather, Buster, and he was one of the guys that helped bring in the deer too in the early days. Wasn't he?
Yeah, he had a little hand in that, but unfortunately, he passed before he ever got to hunt deer in his home county.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, what a great legacy and all. It's neat that you have that. Now something else, we were talking the other day and all, and I know you and your wife, being an outdoorsman, he's a consummate outdoorsman like so many of y'all are. Here it is, you're doing all kind of cool things, and camping is a big deal to y'all.
It is. Well, some folks wouldn't call it camping, but with a travel trailer and all, but we still
It's camping.
do. I actually do have a camping trip with my son, my son-in-law, and 4 of my 5 grandsons.
Okay.
This coming weekend.
Okay, where y'all headed?
We're going to Lake Seminole.
Okay.
And we are leaving the travel trailer at home. We're going to be in tents.
Oh, I like that. Old school camping.
Yeah, pray for me. The ground gets hard.
That's interesting. More of us need to do that again.
Yep.
What a good idea. What land and where y'all going to be at?
Three River State Park.
Three River State Park.
We're just going to be in a state park for a couple of days. Enjoy one another.
What a memorable experience. You sent me some pictures, and of course I want to, we got a lot of them, which is,
Yes.
Okay, so we'll start with this. Now that is a nice camper.
That's my lovely bride. She's the love of my life, Miss Beth, and she's striking a pose there outside.
She loves
of our,
to camp, don't she?
Oh, she does. She refers to the house as the mansion, and so naturally the travel trailer is the mini mansion.
Okay.
This shot is at Lake Eufaula. There at Cotton Hill Campground, and we love to go there and do a little catfishing while we're up there.
That is a pretty campground up there.
It's beautiful.
I mean, it really is. Folks, if you think about it, a neat place to go, that is a good one up there.
This is my wife on her first voyage by herself
A solo.
on our boat.
Look at that.
I told her, you need to learn how to operate this boat just in case.
That's
So
impressive now.
She went out on the boat.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
This one is actually on Lake Martin up in North Alabama. As you can see, we love to be around the water when we camp.
Yes,
That's a beautiful. If you've never been to Lake Martin, it's worth the trip to go see it.
I have
It's a
some
beautiful
cousins that
place.
live up there and say the same thing.
It's beautiful.
It is just one beautiful place.
It is.
Goodness gracious. This is a foggy morning.
That's a foggy morning on Holmes Creek. We took our kayaks, and actually that was on the same morning that they had Wausau Fun Day many years ago.
Yeah.
We decided we'd just get up about daylight and put in at Holmes Creek. And paddle around for a
Did
while.
y'all go down and back, or did y'all have a pickup, or how'd y'all do
We
that?
went down and back.
Down and
we
back?
actually go up and back.
Up and back.
Up and back.
There you go. Okay.
This is out at Lake Powell, there at Phillips Inlet.
Okay.
Went and spent the day there, and
Man, y'all
went
really.
over on the beach side and done a little fishing. And
So y'all are on the beach side here,
actually, this shot is on the Lake Powell side.
Lake Powell side of the bridge. Okay. That's a pretty place, isn't it?
It is. It's pretty.
It really is. And so here we are there, right?
There we are, same place there at Lake Powell. You can see out in front of us is the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes, and now
we pulled up and beached and just.
Was it cut through then? Or
No, sir.
It was closed up.
It was closed up.
You know,
just a little trickle coming through is all.
Okay, we talk about that on the show a lot about how that Lake Powell opens up and closes up
Right, yeah,
naturally.
That day it was closed.
It was
Like I
closed.
said, just a little trickle coming
What
through.
kind of fishing were you doing out there?
Just something to throw a rod and reel that day.
That's the thing about it. You don't necessarily have to. You ain't got to fish all day.
I wasn't really targeting anything that day. We just let's go on a kayak, and I'm going to carry a rod. when
Let's
I
just
go.
get out and go.
Right.
Get out and go. You put in there the boat ramp there on the Lake Powell side?
Yes, sir.
And then
Yes, sir.
paddle down?
Paddle around. Mhm.
That's a good little route.
It is. It's not too far. If the wind picks up, it's tough.
Yeah. Well, you got that, the prevailing wind too
Right.
will be coming off the
Right.
Gulf, so you want to do that in the morning and then blown
That's
back
right.
to the ramp.
Blown back to the ramp, that's
Yeah.
right.
Little things like that outdoorsmen learn. Okay,
Always fish upstream.
always fish
So
upstream.
you can come back.
Now
drift
this
back.
picture here,
Well, you can see we never go hungry. This was one of our trips with several other couples that went with us. That Lake Eufaula there at Cotton Hill Landing.
I love that. Oh, well, I'm sure you got you got some fresh shrimp from down here.
There, we did, and there were not many leftovers.
Well, that's the thing about it. When you go camping and all, it was always centered around, of course, having a good time. But we did the same thing with other couples and families. We'd always have that afternoon meal, and it would just bring everybody together.
That's right.
And we would plan the meal like we're going 3 nights. Each person would be in charge of it.
That's right. That's the way we do. That's the way we do most times.
Yeah, and then you have all get together like this.
Right. Sometimes we plan the meal, and each one will bring a portion to complement, and then sometimes it's just, hey, whatever you got, bring it, we'll eat.
That's right.
But
that's right. And then what we would do at Cape San Blas, we'd try to live off the water. I mean, by the third day, we should have enough crabs and scallops and fish. So,
that's right. And we try and do the same thing.
Yeah.
If we're going to fish, we'll try and you know.
If not, we say you're going to eat sandwiches the last night. So everybody gets out there and tries to get stuff.
Eat all the leftovers.
We're going to take a break. I'll be right back with Steve. Okay, welcome back. Here with Steve Rogers, master rod builder. But let's take a look right now at our fishing game time brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at our time, 3:39 to 5:39 this morning, 4:04 to 6:04 this afternoon. Real quick, you're talking about you're delivering some rods. You just did 3 at one place, and
yes,
a grandmother doing it as a present.
A mother bought them for her sons and grandsons and delivered them to her, and she's delivered them to them now.
Yeah. So we'll post the number one more time toward the end, and but you got to wait in line, right? You got 6 or 7.
Yeah, I've got 6 or 7 in the line right now.
And well, you can get to it,
but I'll get to you eventually.
Okay. All right. Real quick, tell us. You're talking about this food here. I got to go back to it real quick. Now, who was cooking this?
Well, Chief Ricky Ramey there in Lynn Haven. He was cooking that night.
Who was on this trip now? Ricky?
Ricky and his wife.
Frank?
Frank McKeithen and his wife, and Matt Reamer and his wife, and myself.
So you didn't have to
I didn't have to worry about anything. I had
you didn't have to call the
3 law enforcement officers there to protect me.
That's funny. That is funny. Okay. We got to move through these pictures. We got some great pictures.
This was another one there at Cotton Hill on Lake Eufaula, and we had caught a slew of catfish, and we had a big fish fry. And my parents had told me, if you catch a bunch of fish, call me, and we'll come up. So folks, they drove from Lynn Haven to Eufaula to eat catfish with us that night for supper.
That is awesome. I love it. Okay.
This is a recent trip we had back in December up in the Great Smoky Mountains. We love it up there, and driving down the highway one day and just looked out, and on one side of the highway there were about 40 elk feeding in a pasture, and I looked on the other side of the highway and this big bull was laying there by himself.
How about that?
That same trip, that's over around Maggie Valley, North Carolina. That's my wife and her lovely little dog.
Maggie Valley, beautiful place.
And these geese, I kept hearing every morning about daylight. And it finally, about the 3rd day, I found them. They were feeding in a creek right down below where we were camped at there in Sevierville, Tennessee.
They were honking, huh?
They were. This is down in Crystal River. This is actually in Three Sisters State Park.
Okay.
Crystal River is a beautiful place to go. Mm-hmm. And in the winter time of the year, I think this was 2 years ago, manatees just come into that warm water, and that's where they live during the winter time. And they were very curious of our boat.
So they got up close and personal, didn't they?
They did.
I was looking at, what's these little things on this manatee?
Kind of like freckles, I guess. It didn't look like anything, growth or anything to me.
I guess they have freckles.
There were a few of them that were colored that way.
I guess they have freckles then. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. That's another one there. Does that cover all yours?
I think so.
Okay. One of the biggest things, I've got all kind of pictures coming up, but we'll have to wait and show those tomorrow. Y'all been really good this week about sending pictures. Got all kind of stories and all. But get back to camping. It's just one of those relaxing things that you do that you can't really put a price tag on it.
No, sir. You can't.
It's just something special. And I wanted him to come on and talk about camping and rod wrapping, but I want to talk about camping here. April now, here it is, and right at the beginning of camping.
Good time to go.
And I love springtime camping.
We do too. We just got back from a trip a week ago, and we did absolutely nothing. We spent 4 days on Lake Eufaula at White Oak Campground and did nothing, and that was very relaxing.
And nothing wrong with that?
Not a thing.
I was going to ask you, of course, with grandkids, do you do your s'mores and all? Do you have a group of?
Well,
We used to have
with
to
the
do a lot of
adults,
s'mores.
no, not really.
We used to
really.
have to do s'mores all the time.
With the grandkids around the house, we will.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Okay. Now you got a big truck and all, I saw it out there. So
Yes, sir.
It's fifth wheel and all. The one thing I noticed when you set up campsite, you had like a big rug out there, big carpet. That is critical.
Still do housekeeping. You try
Yeah.
to keep that sand and that little gravel out of your trailer.
Little things like that, and we used to have like the longer we camped, the bigger our rug got.
Right,
Because
right.
we started out with just
That's right.
one right out front of the camper, and we
Right,
started getting
right.
bigger and bigger because more people tracking in and out.
Oh yeah, we have a big one, but I usually don't break it out too often.
Now this weekend, will you be in your tent or?
Yes, sir. We'll be in tents. We'll put a couple of tents up and just kind of go bare minimum.
Now weather forecast looks pretty good, pretty decent.
I think it is.
It's gonna be
turn a little
cool.
cooler.
Gonna be
It'll turn a little
cool.
cooler.
What
But I
you-
think we'll be fine.
So you're gonna take some firewood with you, or they have some up there?
I think they'll have some up there.
Okay.
Most campgrounds don't really want you to bring firewood in.
Really now?
It brings different insects from different areas.
I
It could
thought about
infest
that.
their forestry over there in that area. So
I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting. Now that's sort of a new rule too, from when I did some serious camping. Okay, I'll put your poster back up here, a little
Yes,
business card. Here it is. Sandhill Sticks, handcrafted rods, 596-4435.
correct.
And just touch base with Steve, local guy, lives up there right north of Bozeman.
Yes, sir.
Up there, and
Yes, sir. In a growing community.
yeah, that place is growing. Isn't it?
Hey, it's growing.
Yeah.
It's growing.
So they'll have to wait a little bit in line, but they can get them.
Yes, sir. I try and get them as quick as I can, but sometimes one rod may give me a lot of trouble, and I have to spend a little more time on it than I would
Well,
another one. But
it's personal and it's handmade. That makes it special. And
Yes,
I recommend y'all getting one for great presents off. Steve, as always, we've run out of time.
yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming
I
on.
appreciate you.
I appreciate
very
you
much.
too, and all the good things you do. Folks, thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate the viewership. This is us. I mean, these are real people right here doing real things in the Florida Panhandle. So that's been our tradition and legacy forever. And we appreciate you watching our show. Do something good today for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.